Sacha Atherton here. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the very first episode of my series, How I Turned My Pain into Passion. This episode 1 is going to focus on when I was about 14, which is the first time I got kicked out, and probably the first event that started shaping who I was to become going forward. A little bit nervous for obvious reasons, but let's crack on. So, a little bit of background then. I was actually born in Sheffield and moved to Nottingham at about 8 years old, as my brother's dad lived here, and I've been here ever since. So when I was 14, I was kicked out, not onto the street or anything at that point. My dad was told to come and get me. I couldn't stay there anymore. I wasn't a really bad teenager. It was more attitude. And that mainly came from the fact that I had a few brothers in the house. I'd had a lot of freedom from a young age. I could pretty much go where I wanted to, have anyone around the house, friends, a boyfriend, whatever. That was all pretty normal, which I thought was really, really cool when I was young, as you would do as a teenager. And then grew up to realise it actually wasn't, more so when I became a mum. So anyway, my dad was told to come and get me. Before that point, up to that point, we had a pretty okay relationship. He was a weekend dad, so he drove over from Sheffield on a Friday evening, picked me up, but I didn't stay with him, I stayed with my grandparents. So he picked me up, take me to my grandparents, come back on a Saturday afternoon kind of thing. He'd take me shopping or for food, drop me back to my grandparents. I'd see him again Sunday afternoon. We'd have Sunday dinner. He'd bring me back to Nottingham. So now he was being told that he needed to take me and look after me and have me. So he picked me up. He took me to my grandparents. I lived there for about, I think it was a couple of months. I feel like it was a couple of months. I went to school in Sheffield, which I didn't like very much. During that time at school, I actually got set up by a few girls who rushed me. So it was just like that whole scenario, new girl. I was quite popular with some, not others. It was just that whole, the whole typical saga, the scenario. So I didn't really like school then. And then in the meantime, my dad had bought a house and moved him, his girlfriend and her daughter in, and she was about 7 or 8, but left me at my grandparents. And my grandparents were like, this house was supposed to be for Sacha, you need to take her. By that time, the daughter of the girlfriend had the main room, so I was left with this tiny box room. I don't even think it was supposed to be a bedroom. Literally a few steps you walk in and that was it. I had a blow up bed on the floor, a really horrible room for a teenager. And I hated it. On top of that, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere, so I'd gone from having too much freedom to none at all. I had to come straight back from school. Literally couldn't do anything. And then the friction started between me and his girlfriend. So his daughter, understandably, now saw me as an older sister, wanted to play all the time. I didn't want to do that. I was a teenager. I didn't want to play all the time. So it was as simple as she'd asked me to play a few times and I was like, no, I don't want to. Then I remember one evening, the girlfriend coming into my bedroom and threatening me and saying, if I upset her daughter again, she's going to kill me. So then at that point, my relationship with my other parent was better. We were on speaking terms. So I basically rang her. And her and my stepdad had to come and get me because it changed everything, even more so, and really changed the relationship with my dad. I saw it as him taking her side, and he just said to me, stop upsetting her. So I came back to Nottingham, and it was okay to start with. I had to go to a different school. By this time, I'm about 15. So I was there back home for a year or so. Then I got kicked out again, but properly this time. I had nowhere to go. That was just as I was due to start my GCSEs. So that brings me on to the next episode, which is becoming homeless. So if you'd like to find out what happens next, if you think you've heard a lot so far, trust me, you haven't. Please subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think. If any of this resonates with you, you're struggling, please let me know in the comments, and if I can help, I will try my best. And I'll see you in episode 2.
Keep it all the way real.